Welcome to the trading floor. In this explainer, we are treating your Cambridge Information Technology exam exactly like a high-stakes trading environment. Because let's be honest, when you sit down in that exam hall, you are making split-second decisions. You have limited time, and you need to invest your minutes exactly where the mark returns are the highest. Today, we're focusing on the Cambridge AS and A-level topic 8.1 cell formatting. We are cracking open the examiner playbook on how to format dates, text, numeric data, currency, percentages, fractions, and alignment. And listen, whether you're tackling syllabus codes like 0417, 0478, 2210, 9618, or specifically 9626, mastering cell formatting is an absolute non-negotiable requirement. It appears in almost every single examination series. But here's the reality check. Cambridge isn't just testing if you know how to click a drop-down menu in a spreadsheet. Any beginner can do that. They're testing your analytical depth. They want to see if you can make executive decisions about data presentation under pressure.
So, here is our itinerary for today's session. We are mapping out a clear, actionable roadmap to exam success. First, we'll establish the core principles of formatting. Second, we are going to unlock the method mark strategy. This is where the big points live. Third, I'll give you a systematic processing framework to use when panic sets in. Fourth, we'll dive into comparative analysis. And finally, we will break down the top 3 examiner warnings that consistently destroy candidates' grades year after year. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The core principles of formatting. Now, to really understand these principles, I want to introduce you to 2 classic types of candidates. We'll call them Alex and Sam. Now, Alex is the kind of student who overloads their answers with raw computer science facts. Alex memorizes every single button in the software, but provides absolutely zero analysis of the actual scenario. On the other hand, we have Sam. Sam rushes. Sam sees a spreadsheet question, ignores the specific command word requirements, and just writes down the first formatting trick that comes to mind. When you look at their papers side by side, they are covered in red pen marks from the examiner. Why? Because of the quote you are looking at right now. The syllabus explicitly states that the assessment framework prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. In information technology exams, formatting isn't just aesthetic. It is entirely structural. When an examiner looks at your paper, they are hunting for evidence that you possess a connected, conceptual understanding of data presentation. If you format a column of financial figures without aligning the decimal points, you haven't just made a cute little aesthetic error. You've demonstrated a fundamental lack of understanding of data readability in a business context. Cambridge wants to see a conceptual understanding that you can apply to completely unfamiliar contexts. Before we continue and reveal how to actually achieve this depth, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at @aceexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now.
Moving on to Section 2, the method mark strategy.
Let's talk about how top-tier students structure their answers. To achieve that required analytical depth, we really need to understand how the exam is actually graded. In Cambridge mark schemes, especially for complex spreadsheet and data processing tasks, the final output is only a fraction of the story. Examiners are looking at your working out, your formulas, your formatting choices, and most importantly, your logical progression. This is the method mark strategy. Examiners heavily reward your logical reasoning and the specific process you take to arrive at a correctly formatted cell. This brings us to the Peel framework: point, evidence, explanation, and link. If Sam, our rushing student, just writes, "use currency formatting," that's 0 method marks. But if Sam uses the Peel framework, the answer transforms. Point, I will apply the local currency format to 2 decimal places for the revenue column. Evidence, the data contains financial figures requiring precision. Explanation, setting it to 2 decimal places and aligning right ensures all decimal points stack vertically for the user. Link, this fulfills the company's requirement for a professional financial summary. Do you see the difference? You must articulate your thought process to capture these method marks. I want you to mentally spot which answers in your own past papers follow this Peel structure. Take a hard look at your own work. Section 3. The systematic processing framework. Imagine you turn the page in the exam hall and you are faced with a massive, highly complex data source. The clock is ticking. This is where we initiate the transformation. We are going to turn those red pen marks into green check marks. You need a systematic processing framework to ensure you capture every single process mark available. You should rely on this 5-step standardized sequence. Let's watch Alex and Sam rewrite their answers live using this blueprint. Step 1. Identify key elements. Alex scans flight data and sees dates written as 01/02/2024. Alex identifies the ambiguity. Is that February 1st or January 2nd? Step 2.
Apply relevant principles. Alex knows that international audiences need unambiguous dates. Step 3. Execute analysis with clear working. Alex decides to format the cells to a medium date format, like 01-Feb 2024. Step 4. Verify results. Sam jumps in here and checks the column width to make sure it accommodates the new longer date format without returning those dreaded hash symbols. Step 5. Present in appropriate format. They finalize the alignment so everything is perfectly readable. This is the computer science success blueprint in action. It forces you to slow down and map your formatting choices directly to the marks. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, AC Exams, at acexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to @acexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. By the time you reach that 5th step of presentation we just talked about, you must adhere strictly to professional conventions. This is non-negotiable. Examiners are ruthless about this. Your answers must include proper headings, correct terminology, appropriate formats, and clear annotation. Let me give you a prime example. If you write on your exam paper, the money column was changed to dollars, an examiner will dock marks immediately for informal, sloppy terminology. The professional, mark-winning correction should be the revenue field was formatted to currency, specifically USD, to 2 decimal places. Speaking the specific language of the syllabus is absolutely critical to proving your practical application is flawless. Don't leave easy marks on the table just because you used casual language. Section 4. Comparative Analysis and Evaluation. Welcome to the interactive workshop. All right, let's get interactive. To conquer the highest grade boundaries, you must master the higher order assessment objectives, like evaluating and comparing. It is never enough to just apply a format. You have to justify exactly why it is the best format compared to the alternatives. Let's do challenge 1, the data scan. Imagine a complex data table on screen right now showing market share. You have 60 seconds on the clock. What's the core trend, and how do you format it? If you just use a descriptive level answer, you might say the pie chart shows percentages and the table shows fractions. Okay, time's up. If that was your answer, you scored 0 for analytical depth. That brings us to challenge 2, find the flaw. The flaw in that descriptive answer is that it just states a fact without evaluating the utility of the format. An evaluative answer, the kind that gets top marks, says this: while the table providing raw fractions offers absolute numerical precision suitable for data analysts, formatting this data as percentages within a pie chart provides a much faster visual comparative analysis for board members who need to grasp market share proportions at a glance. Do you see what we did there? We evaluated the alternatives based entirely on the target audience. Time for challenge 3, speed writing. When analyzing different ways to display numeric or text data, you need to use this strict comparative analysis checklist. I want you to imagine a 30-second timer counting down right now. How would you write a perfect Peel paragraph comparing time formats? The secret weapon here is your use of comparative connectives. Words like whereas, conversely, in contrast, and similarly are the structural glue of a top-tier answer. Here's what a perfect speed-written answer looks like. A 12-hour clock format is familiar to general consumers, whereas a 24-hour time format is strictly required in this logistics database to prevent AM/PM ambiguity and ensure sequential sorting of delivery records. Look at the checklist. You identified the difference. You used the connective whereas, you supported it with the context of logistics, and you drew a firm conclusion on its relative importance. That is how you dominate an evaluation question. Section 5. The top 3 examiner warnings. Even with a great systematic approach, candidates consistently fall into the exact same traps every single year. So let's count down the top 3 warnings straight from the principal examiner reports. Warning number 3, students completely fail to make their answers specific to the context given in the exam paper. This is a massive issue. If the exam scenario is about a local primary school and you recommend complex algorithmic financial formatting used in high-frequency trading dashboards, you are going to lose marks. Your formatting choices, whether it's the alignment of text to make it highly readable for children or using simple, intuitive date formats, must specifically serve the user outlined in the scenario. Examiners want applied situational knowledge, not just a list of isolated facts you crammed the night before. Warning number 2. Candidates simply forget to check their final format and presentation against strict professional conventions. Imagine being an examiner. It is genuinely heartbreaking for them to read brilliant analytical reasoning in a student's paragraph, only to look at the practical spreadsheet output and see an absolute mess. Numbers are left aligned instead of right aligned, making the decimal places chaotic and impossible to read quickly, or they see a column entirely filled with hash symbols because the candidate confidently applied a long date format but totally forgot to auto-fit the column width. It's a tragedy of lost marks. Always, always verify your practical results before you move to the next question.
And the number one reason students lose marks, the absolute biggest trap of all, is that their written answers are just too vague. Examiners are actively hunting for specific, precise, undeniable details. If you write down, "I will format the numbers," that is not an answer. That is a wish. An actual answer that guarantees marks sounds like this: "I will format the numeric data to 2 decimal places with a comma separator for thousands to ensure financial readability." You must be precise. You must be specific. To put it bluntly, the ultimate examiner alert is that generic answers will tank your score. You absolutely must link every single point back to the provided scenario. Let's recap the complete answering system we've built today. It boils down to 3 rules that guarantee top marks. Rule 1, command word decoding. Always know exactly what the question is asking you to do. Rule 2, Peel framework application. Structure your justifications with point, evidence, explanation, and link. Rule 3, time management matrix. Invest your time constructing detailed, contextual answers where the marks are highest. If you memorize a textbook definition of self-formatting but cannot explain why that specific formatting solves the exact problem presented in the exam paper, you have the breadth, but you completely lack the depth. Students who implement these strategies see an average improvement of 2 whole grade boundaries. But that only happens if they practice consistently with our weekly sessions. So here is your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at @acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. I want you to drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science or IT and tell me the biggest challenge you are currently facing. Our team reads and responds to every single comment. Make sure you like and share this video with a study partner who needs a wake-up call. Ace the Exams. Your Cambridge success starts here. As you walk away today, ask yourself, will your next formatting answer be a generic, panicked guess, or a justified recommendation perfectly mapped to the specific context? The choice is yours. See you next time on the trading floor.